There are few builders that you guys cut for more on this channel than Perry Homes, and we're checking out a couple of the other ones that y'all go crazy over every time I post them. Chesmar Homes and Newmark as well. In today's episode, we are in the lovely and sought after community of Sienna on the south side of Houston in the Missouri City area, right off of 6. We are in some of their final sections. As you can see behind us, we are getting close to 521. We are at the end. So if you want Sienna, you definitely need to make a move now. But today I wanted to show you something that's a little bit more modest. I know that oftentimes when you think of Sienna, you think of these gigantic mansions that are like some of them. I think I might be getting one of those soon for one of my clients, like a 100-foot custom section or 90-foot custom section. You're thinking about mansions most of the time when you think about Sienna, but a lot of the sections here are 65 foot and under. And I want to show you some of the sweet, beautiful deals and homes that you can get in a lovely community like this, all the way on up from entry level to something that's a little bit bigger for those families that need a little bit more room to spread out, like this Perry home behind me. If that sounds good, stay tuned. So first up, we got a fan favorite on the channel, Chesmar Homes, and this is the Orlando plan. So this is going to be similar to the model home that you have in the Meridiana neighborhood, the Middleton plan. So it's going to share some of the similar features. This would normally be your garage. So it's going to be a 4-bed, 2.5 bath, and it has a little flex space in the middle also. So we'll go and check out all of that stuff. And then when we're all done, we'll talk about pricing on upcoming inventory, what you can expect, how the build process goes, all the things that y'all care about. We're gonna go over that today. Okay, but out the gate, we have a bedroom off of the front door. Then we have another guest. Let me make sure I didn't miss that. And yes, we had your closet back here, okay? So no ensuite on this one. So they would be using this bathroom right here. It is a full bath. And then you open up into this open concept, which I am a fan of. Chesmar gets it, man. They give you, like I said, I speak very highly of Chesmar. I sell a lot of Chesmar. And they do this thing, man, where they just give you such a wonderful value. And they are usually the entry point of some of you guys' favorite communities, kind of no matter where you're looking, what part of Houston. And they're just gonna give you the glam, man. They're gonna give you the really big windows. They're gonna give you the interesting colors on your cabinets. They're gonna usually give you cabinets that are going pretty much up to the top. You're gonna get your nice stones. You're gonna get your nice appliance package. You're gonna get some really nice stuff for the bang for your buck. And this is a 50-foot plan, so that means the house is going to be about 45 foot wide. From gate middle to gate middle is about 50 foot wide on the whole lot width. And that's what we mean when we say this is a 50-foot product. So this is going to feel, like I said, very similar. If you've been watching the channel for a while, this is going to feel very similar to the Middleton plan that is in Meridiana. Same basic layout, of course. If you ever touring and you need a snack, come see Chesmar. They got the best snacks. But back to the beautiful home. It was a big back moment. But yeah, just like giving you details that you'll see often in some Toll Brothers models, or you'll see in some bigger Western models. You'll see, or in some bigger Highland models, some of you guys' favorites on the channel, you'll get some of these same details. And this is a really nice size family room. Now, it doesn't give you, on this one story, it doesn't give you the full shebang of the 2-story ceilings like many of you want, but this gives baby, for those of y'all that know the Chesmar plans, this gives like baby Sweetwater to me. And we'll see what I mean by that in a little bit. So no slider on this one, but again, really nice size. This is about 20, little under 2,200 square feet. I think it's 2181 to be exact. Let you see the patio again. Not super huge, but this is bigger than most people's standard patios, right? So if you are someone that wants to entertain outside, if you're one of these people that is gonna wanna barbecue and grill and do all these things, entertainment space, now this is an oversized lot. Don't look at this and assume that this is gonna be your normal lot. It is not. Don't be fooled, don't be catfished by that, all right? But just giving you some ideas of what you could do if you had this oversized lot. But on average, your lot is gonna be about here over, okay? So all this side yard that you're getting, I don't know why they put this size house on this oversized lot. They often do that in these model home parks. And one of the first things I get when people from out of town come up that are like, oh man, I want this on an acre lot, I'm just like, this is catfish. Don't believe what this looks like is gonna be a narrower lot, okay? All right, so yeah, this is about what you can expect. This is what your perimeter fence would look like if you are having no back neighbors. This is what the normal fencing looks like. I got a question last week of why the fencing just looks so worn out and kind of grody looking, and that's just because we get a lot of rain out here, and the HOA is not responsible for sealing this. So if you as the homeowner or the current owner doesn't seal this pretty much every year, the fences are gonna start to get kind of grungy, okay? So keep that in mind. HOA here only covers really the maintenance of any gates, any amenities, or any common green areas. A common misconception, or maybe this is how it's done in other places, people would assume that lawn care and stuff like that goes with your HOA. That is not what happens here in the Houston Metro, okay? All right, but yeah, really nice size. Let's head back in and check out the space that gives me the mini Sweetwater vibe. So if you come back here, this is where your another secondary bedroom is gonna be. So you do have a closet. I think this little cloud thing that they're doing is super cool. I'm gonna have to show that to the missus. Good size closet for a house that is, again, less than 2,200 square feet. You could get probably you could squeeze a queen in here, but full is probably gonna be the best bet. If you start needing somebody that needs queen and king size furniture in one of these size rooms, you're probably maxing out the capabilities. But this little bonus room flex off of the bedrooms is what's giving me the Sweetwater vibes, because you have exactly this kind of little space off of a bedroom in the bigger 65 foot plan. That is probably one of my favorite models for a big 1-story in Houston. And they're taking some elements of that with this. All right, now we got a third bedroom. This one has a slightly bigger closet. So you could pitter patter in this one. This is you could call this a walk-in, but I'm gonna call this a pitter patterer, okay? So you can get in there. Other ones are a little bit tighter, but you would have the ability to get in there. But I really like this space because on this one, it looks like they set it up as a 4-bedroom versus having 3 beds and an office. So they took the 4-bedroom option on this, which I think gives it better value. You can turn a bedroom into an office in the interim should you need one. And you can use this as a little play space or a little media room. It looks like they have this kind of set up decor wise adds a little bit of a media space, which I think, and a little bit of a game room, which I think is a good use of this flex space. And for me, it's just the touches that I notice. Again, when people are trying to get into a very affluent neighborhood and they have a little bit of a constraint on the budget, Chesmar is like my go-to, because you're getting nice baseboards, nice flooring, you're getting the nicer style doors, you're getting hardware that's nice, you're getting so many things that come with luxury builds here in Houston without the luxury price tag often. And I am a huge fan of that, because I like my people to be in nice places, because when y'all have functions and y'all invite me over, I want to be at nice places, okay? All right, so this is going to be the full bath. So it looks like on this one, none of the bathrooms are going to be en suites, probably, except for the primary. But again, another thing that I noticed on Chesmar, typically their tiles are going to go to the ceiling. They're usually going to have a nice flooring. It looks like they did a nice vinyl plank laminate on this. You're going to have quartz countertops, nice cabinetry. Again, the ceiling height, everything just makes it feel more glam, right? Got that linen closet because we need our storage, and then just this is the vibe. Just picking up. This is probably my favorite view in here. You got the windows, you got the beams, view of the kitchen. That's a beautiful vibe. Laundry, not too far from the primary. Now that could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on your vibe and how much laundry you do. In our household, the laundry is going pretty much 24/7. I don't know how the three of us use so many clothes in a day. I don't understand how the three of us in that house use so many clothes, but we are washing clothes constantly in that house, constantly. So this would probably not work for us, but if you're one of these people that don't necessarily work from home or that don't do homeschool, and you're like leaving for the day and then you're coming back, this may not be the biggest deal for you, and you would have the proximity of being able to bring them onto the bed, fold in the bed, all of those things, right? So pros and cons. So it would probably be a con for us, but it's a really nice size. This is super wide. Again, you probably would have room for a little folding station back here if you just wanted to force something. You definitely could probably have a little folding station up here. You wouldn't obviously want to cover your clean out, but could you force something to be in here to where you wouldn't have to fold in their laundry in your bedroom? Absolutely. Okay. All right, back to the primary. Really nice size. Of course, you get a king size bed in here with side tables. Every primary, damn near no matter what the footprint of the house is going to be, it's going to give enough square footage to the primary bedroom so you can fit full size, king size furniture in here. And so this is no different, okay? Again, tall ceilings that flows throughout the home. Nice baseboards, nice hardware throughout. Tile going up to the ceiling. Really nice tile. Now I know that in some of their newer sections, they're going to like a full standalone tub. They're kind of going away from this style, depending on the package line that they have in the neighborhood. In my neighborhood of Meridiana, their 60 foot has gone up to, man, what's that? I think they're now calling it their premier package, where some of the tiles and some of the cabinets and some of the tubs and things are being a little bit more elevated. And I believe Sienna was supposed to get that lineup as well. I'll verify that with Miss Alyssa. We have done some deals together in Meridiana, and they moved my girl over here, and now I'm excited to potentially, if I can't get you in Meridiana, bring some family over here to Sienna, which so many of y'all just know and love and have heard about for all these years. I think it's 11 or 12,000 acres large. It's one of the biggest. I think it's, in fact, it is the third largest behind Bridgeland and the Woodlands. Yeah, this would be the next largest master plan community that we have here. Tons of amenities, tons of villages. Meridiana is basically a baby version of this, with how it like has the different villages and different sections within that subdivision. It kind of follows those same sort of look and tries to emulate it to a high level, and I think Meridiana does a good job of doing that. Okay, all right, so let's bring you in. Of course, some of the savings that you would get, if you're not familiar, is because you do pick a lot of that stuff here. So a lot of your cosmetics, your flooring, your tiles, countertops, all of that stuff you would pick here. And so you kind of cut out the middleman of paying a markup for going to a design center, because you would pick all of those things here. And so that is some of the reason why you have such a cost savings when it comes to building a home from the ground up with a Chesmar versus some of the other builders. But for reference, we have homes that are as small as 2142, which would be the Middleton plan that I was referencing at first. 4-bed, 3-bath, 2-car garage. You have some of those that are gonna be coming along live at $426,950. That's a good price, okay? You next up have the Orlando plan, like this one, that is 2181. That is going to be somewhere around the middle of the road, kind of 450-ish is where you're going to see that. And they have one coming up here live here in the next month or so at 457,950. And then you're going to have the biggest plan over here is going to be the Medina plan. It's a 2-story, 4-bed, 3-bath, 2-car garage, and that one is going to be like low 500s. Okay, so these are, and it's weird because the thing that I know now is that this is technically like a 50-foot plan, but it's on a 45-foot lot, so to speak. But Sienna has this weird thing where you can be like oversized for the size lot, just because the fronts are a little bit skinnier and like the backs are a little bit weird shaped. So they got this weird thing where the lot sizes ain't really a lot size. This is like a 50-foot wide product in most communities. But for whatever reason, the Weston that is next door and this home that would typically be 50-foot products, they have them on 45-foot sections here, okay? So very similar to what you would see in Meridiana. Like I said, this was a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2-car garage. This is the Orlando plan, and it's gonna be about middle of the road, 450-ish on average. And the next one they have coming up in inventory is gonna be 457,950. But yeah, if you have any questions on this builder, inventory coming up, hit me up. If I don't have that answer, I'll hit my girl up, Miss Alyssa, and say, hey, hit me up. Hook me up with some details. I got somebody that's looking to buy something. But one more time for the vibes. Nice tall ceilings, beautiful details. Love Chesmar Homes. All right, now up next, we're stepping up in size a little bit, stepping up in luxury appeal just a little bit, on up to Newmark Homes. And y'all on this channel, whenever I get a chance to look at a Newmark, y'all love it. This is gonna be in that 50-foot product, so not super huge, but you'll get some stuff that'll creep up into around that 3,000 square foot size range. This one is the Koblenz plan with a couple different modifications on it. This one is gonna be right around 2,800 square feet. We'll go through all the stats once we get inside, but let's go take a look. gorgeous. I love the elevation. Love the elevation. One of my favorite things about Newmark is that they are going to give you more contemporary, just prettier elevations than you would typically get. Huge fan. All right. Looks like we got some peekaboos for the people. We'll break down plans and things as we're going through. All right. So off the front foyer, we got a really nice sized bedroom. You could definitely fit a queen in here easily. Probably even a king in here pretty easily with how wide this is, and it has an ensuite. So this is a, I wouldn't call it a two primary sort of situation, but for someone that may have an older parent or an older kid that's going to be here and you want some separation from your primary suite, this could be a plan that fits, because you're not really giving up much space on this secondary bedroom. I like that. That thunder out here is banging. That storm came in. You have your laundry room off of the front. That is kind of more of the norm in my experience when you go to the 50-foot product. And we got some of the plans that you got over here in this section. We're looking over here at the cold blends right now. We got Colton is in here. Thank you, Colton, for giving me access to the model today, my man. I'll get his days and times when he's in, just in case y'all want to stop by like a lot of y'all do when you get a chance. It's beautiful, okay? So I like that they have this open because it gives you that more open. It doesn't make it feel kind of closed off, because if you did this as a closed off room, this would probably feel tiny if you drywall this up. Obviously the space is good enough. You see the full table in there fitting with 8 chairs, so you know it's not a small space, but I think it would probably feel a little claustrophobic if you made this a full closed-in dining. I think this is a perfect use of how to do it. And then you come into what a lot of y'all just love about Texas, man. Just these nice new construction homes that are gonna give you this sight line and give you the visuals of people. I made it. If you wanted to do a fireplace over here, you could. Just beautiful sight lines. Just, I'm a fan. Am I seeing a spice kitchen back here off of this kitchen? Hold on. Hey, okay. So it looks like they have done a spice kitchen ad off of this house. This will be a first for me on a house that is this size. That is definitely on some Frederick Harris, their like parent luxury custom home side, where you would get something like this. That's kind of fire. Hold on now. Hold on. Things built into the cabinets. Always going to be the case with a luxury builder like Newmark. Like I said a few moments ago, Frederick Harris is their like custom division, and so they're definitely going to play on the higher ends of things, even when they are in a small footprint. Even though they are a production builder, I believe that company originated as a custom home builder. So they are one of the few, and this is probably the first time that I've ever been in a Newmark home and I haven't seen a sign that's just like, you ask and we'll build it. Pretty much, if you're willing to pay for a change and it's allowable in your neighborhood, they'll do it. So if you want to add more square footage, you want to change the walls of a room, you want to make something a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, they'll do it because they have that custom home DNA. You just got to be willing to pay for it. And that is going to come, I can't remember what the fees are for that. It used to be like a $10K flat fee for redraws and things of that nature. I don't remember what that is. I haven't had someone customize one of their plans in a while. But at that time, you paid like a non-refundable fee up front to get a quote for whatever that was, and then you had to decide at that point, did you want to pursue that thing that you had done? Really, truly pulling you into that custom home world that if you want it, you can get it, right? So I'll verify with Colton like what their stance is on that before I head out, but I just wanted to let you know that if you wanted to do something like this, I don't think I've seen that as a standard option feature, but it looks like they showed you that it could be done. That would be along the lines of that sort of thing that you could ask them to do, or if you wanted a specific outdoor kitchen, or if you wanted, you know, just different things that you wanted. If you wanted to add cabinets in this section where it doesn't normally show, that's the kind of thing that you would be able to do fairly easily with Newmark versus some of the other builders in Houston. But this is just a vibe, man. Talk about an absolute vibe. All right, go check out this little back patio just so you can say you saw it. Now, nothing too magnificent on this one, but again, if you said, hey, I wanted to maybe put a slider here, or I wanted to extend this, you would be able to do that fairly easily with this builder. Okay, again, this is going to be a slightly oversized lot. I wouldn't imagine that this is going to be, you know, the basis of what the average size lot is going to be. This being Model Home Road, those homes usually be on oversized lots. Okay, so don't get catfished. Know what you're getting yourself into. In terms of plans, as we said before, this is the Koblenz, and it's a favorite. Many people love it. The basis on this plan is going to be 4 bed, 3 baths. And you can kind of customize from there within the confines of what your foundation will allow, what attic spaces will allow, so on and so forth. One more time for the vibes. In here, let's go check out this primary. Okay, nothing too crazy, but again, king size, full furniture, extra furniture in here, right? So it's a good size, nice size baseboards, but it looks like they gave other rooms of the house a little bit more attention. I love the tile work in here. All right, something that I'm noticing. So I would imagine that in this plan, there's likely a scenario where this would probably be over here, and you would have a tub and a shower, slightly smaller shower. But it looks like they went with the super shower option, which is a little bit, I would say that's a little bit different from what I would expect on a 50-foot. On a 45-foot plan, yeah, the super shower option usually looks the most elegant, and so people typically go with that move. But on a 50-foot, it's kind of weird to see this. I'm not gonna lie to you. But again, this is gonna be typically the upgraded option. You're usually paying for more tile work. You're paying for this bigger cutout for the oversized shower, plumbing and stuff. Stuff needs to be rearranged, so I get it. But usually on a house that is this size, you're gonna see the tub and shower separately, but you're gonna see that as the main option for a model. So I am shocked to see that. But again, higher end countertops, higher end cabinets, higher end floors, going to the design center a lot, and these are definitely steps up. They're gonna be high design for sure. Got a linen closet in here, which is a must. have a good sized closet. So again, now I am curious because I've seen this closet, and I know that on a house this big, I think it's gonna be somewhere around 2,700, 2,800 square feet. I'm expecting certain things in my mind. Like I'm comparing it to our house that's around the same size, and our living family room area is probably the same size as where this table is. And so the fact that this is the way it's shaped down here, and the first bedrooms are the shaped how they are, I'm like, are they really giving them a bunch of space to upstairs? But let's go see. On this one, you get a semi little cute little curve. You could put maybe a little tiny tree right there, but that might be a little tight with this post. So where would you put your tree? I guess you would have to force it right there. Or maybe you're just thugging it out and saying it's in the corner. And that's just what it is. We have the stairs, not done in carpet. I would say on average in their inventory, kind of like Highland, their inventory is going to be a little bit prettier. So you'll typically see, you know, nice finishes. You'll see the nice banisters. You'll see the stairs being wooden and all that stuff versus carpet on average. But what you don't typically see in inventory is like the super upgraded carpet, kind of like this. It'll be nice. It don't have nice padding, but it's not usually top of the line. And before I get to yapping some more, let me show you got some peekaboos both ways. Peekaboo vibes. All right. Let's go into the living quarters before we go to the other ones. I like that this room could also fit probably a queen pretty easily. Show you the closet so we can say that you did it. It's a good size closet. Really good size. Shared bath. I am not the hugest fan of that, for having like a bathroom that is shared with both bedrooms and the guest. But sometimes that is what you gotta do if you're not gonna spend the extra money. And this is the other side of it for the plumbing and all the extra stuff. Another good size bedroom again. Really nice. Looks like the secondary closet, if it's on inventory, is going to get the cables for the house. What we got over here? Ooh, big old closet. Tons of storage. I like that. Homeschool dream. And we have the Texas game room. Usually a foosball or a pool table. That's a must if you're going to have this as your model. You got to show the people what to put in it. And I like how you can still be a part of downstairs if you were entertaining up here. That's a vibe. And then we come into the actual media room. I don't love that there's a window in there, but to me, that probably means that this is a media / option for a bedroom, most likely. They would probably just frame that out to be your little closet. So if you wanted to make this a 5-bedroom, you probably could. But for me and my little family, 4-bed, office and the media. And shout out to us, because the media is coming, y'all. Give me like a week and a half. Give me like a week and a half, and I'm gonna show y'all some cool stuff that we're doing in the crib, man, that I think is gonna really increase the value of our home, because we have taken a space that was previously just hot and unused, and we're doing something pretty cool with it. But yeah, back to this beautiful home. This is a really nice size. Many times in the model, they have this open, just so light and things flow through, and it's not like just cramped and dark and all that stuff. But yeah, this is a great size. You could get stadium seating in here if you were to put, let's say, the little step up. You could definitely have it like stepping down a few times and make this like a true theater for real, man. This is a really good size. Got room over here for a popcorn maker, little ice machine. You got it, man. This is great. I'm loving what I'm seeing. This is one of, for people that are looking at a 50-foot, they're usually looking at the Koblenz, the lens plan. If they're looking at the 45-foot, they also have a 45-foot section here. People are usually going with the Presidio because that gives you that little courtyard area, which is crazy. Newmark is definitely probably one of the best known builders that gives you courtyards on a lot of your plans, just with how their bedrooms kind of line up with their garages. Before reference, in the 50-foot sections, you're gonna have price points kind of going from the low fives. Yeah, let me see. Actually, high fours up to about, the biggest one that they have here goes up to, I think it's a Pozzolana plan, which is a multi-generational plan. That one goes up to 2,800 square feet. No, that's not the big one. The lens is the biggest one. The lens is 2,900 square feet, and that one starts base price at 609, 4 beds, 3 baths, with modifications as you can modify kind of however you want. For the people that are asking for the multi-generational, they do have one that is going to probably give you that little courtyard feel, the Pozzolano plan. That one's around 2,800 square feet, and that one starts at like 580 base. Now, of course, you can want to plan all you want, but if you aren't familiar with how Houston does things, we have a lot of repetition rules, and that's repetition in not only the plan, but also the elevation, because a developer doesn't want to basically see, with this being the #1 plan for Newmark, a whole section full of just this plan. So there's repetition laws that they kind of have in place here. So if you want this plan, you're gonna have to be 3 or 4 doors away. I believe it's 4 doors away to get this plan. If you wanted this brick, you're gonna have to be four plans away to get this brick, so on and so forth. But yeah, in terms of inventory, they got stuff in the mid 5s to low 6s right now. That's about what I would expect in a luxury community from a luxury builder right now, like a Sienna. So I'm not shocked by that at all. That's about what I expect. Comparing this to, let's say, Meridiana nearby, getting into the 6s, you're going to be creeping with a lot of 60-foot products. So you could get like 60-foot Chesmar at that. You're creeping into like the 60-foot, 65-foot plans for Highland. You're creeping into some of the inventory for Perry and Dries on the 60 and 65 and 70-foot products. So you are paying a premium for one of the most developed areas in all of Houston. But for the people that look at something like a Meridiana, or look at something like a Valencia, or look at something like Sierra Vista is another one over there, and that side of the world of 6 and 288 that's not as developed, and you're just kind of waiting for stuff to happen. For people that don't want to do that that don't want to wait for all the amenities, that don't want to wait for good school ratings and all those, you got something like this, but you're gonna pay a prettier penny for it. Okay, that's all up to you. I can't tell you how you spend your money, but that's all up to you. And before I leave, right now, kind of like some of the other builders in the Houston Metro, they're doing pretty big numbers on incentives right now. Newmark personally has 60K flex, so you can use that towards design, some towards closing costs, some towards house price. You can pretty much get funky with it however you want. The best use, in my opinion, is going to be closing costs and a chunk of that going towards the design center. For a house that is that size and at that price, you're probably going to spend, to make it pretty, about 10% of what the house cost price is. So I would take about half of that are exactly what you need. Get with the lender that tells you, hey, what are my closing costs are gonna be for this house? I would make sure that's covered, and then the rest I would damn near shift to the design center to make sure that you're coming out of pocket the least amount. But let's head on over to the next house. All right, so last but not least. So one of the things that I've just been noticing, like, I love this style of look from Perry, and they seem to be going this way with most of their models these days. And I just absolutely love the curb appeal that you get with Perry. They have some of the best elevations in my opinion. All right. And you step in, you get that Perry glam. So you get the tall ceilings, you get the 8-foot doors, you're gonna get the nice trim. There's just things that are standard for Perry that aren't standard for other builders that you'll be paying more for. And we're gonna go over some of that in this video. Now it looks like they upgraded this carpet. Now I can tell you that that's not normal carpet on the inventory. Even over here. So they're showing off a little bit on that carpet. This one has its full ensuite. So again, kind of like the last house that we were in. You got an older kid, you have an older parent that wants to be with you and not be too far away. This would be potentially a great alternative for them because they got a decent little closet, got their own little bathroom. They just got to come out for dinner time, right? Looks like we have some storage here. This would normally be a garage over there. And we got it dolled up and pretty in here. Accent walls. Let me get up out this room for that copyright your boy. But yeah, good size office. Got rotunda vibes. Got places to put the tree, got the spiral staircase, you got all the stuff. More storage because we're in Texas. And we need that storage, baby. And you come in. All right, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And as we mentioned before, this is a 55, so this is the widest that we've seen today. And it's just a little bit more wide than the house that we were just in. But layouts matter, man. Look, this feels way more open. Now it's a little bit bigger, so I'm accounting for that, but just the openness from this view on just looks way more open. Beautiful. So yeah, from design, I know that this is gonna be upgraded countertops. Did they wrap they did. So you got the cabinets, as a lot of they do. Even on inventory, they'll typically have the cabinets kind of wrapping around this island, making it fully functional. We got the little hutch over here, wet bar, our bar area. Not a true wet bar, it doesn't have plumbing in it. Beautiful. Let's get vibes. Get the vibe check. Oh, man. All right, hold up now. Let's check out this laundry real quick. Crazy. Okay. Let's see. Is it gonna do the 60-foot thing and connect to the? Yes, it is. Okay, so we have a half bath, which I love. Great size laundry. Definitely could have a folding station back here. This goes into the bedroom, so y'all know we ain't cutting through. We're walking around because we need what? We need the minutes. a rare sighting of a slider in a Perry model home. That's rare, people. I very rarely see that. Come to the outside, and one of those perks of building a Perry home is that you are typically going to have some of the biggest standard patios that you could ever have are going to usually be with Perry. So if I have someone that says they want a 1-story, or they want a big patio, or they want bigger closets, or they want wider corridors, Perry checks a lot of those boxes depending on your budget and kind of where you're trying to look. Now, of course, don't get catfished by this. This is just inspiration. This is what you can do within your build line. So if you didn't want this and you wanted pool, you could do that. You would have enough build line to have a nice, beautiful pool in this section. Man, tons of room for entertainment out here. Sliders bring the indoor, outdoor, which I love. And I'm just shocked to see it because that's not something that Perry been doing for a while for your boy on the channel. And look how big that is. This is just 3,400 square feet. This looks so much bigger than 3,400 square feet. Crazy. Interesting ceilings. I'm a fan. Whenever the ceilings are gonna do this, I'm a fan. Bring some intrigue. You can paint different things, different colors to bring different moods in here. I'm a fan. Some of the biggest bedrooms, some of the widest bedrooms where you're gonna get the biggest furniture and things in are gonna be in a Perry. So again, like I said, if you say certain things to me, there are certain things that are gonna trigger us going to see a Perry home. If you want, or if you say something like, I want the split closet, they typically do a split closet on most of their, and that is the connection that we didn't walk through before. So on this 55, they're doing 65 and bigger home things with the connected laundry to the closet. Got the standalone tub with enough room behind. The missus would love that. So we could clean, truly clean behind there. Got the linen closet, that's a must. Split vanities. Really, really nice size shower. Do they give you a second closet? Yes, they do. They give you a split closet. They're doing the things. So far, we have a bedroom and an office and a primary down. Loving what I'm saying, man. Look at the vibes on this. Okay, let me pick my corner real quick. This thing I've been doing the last few videos is picking my favorite corner of the house for the vibes. And this is the corner for the vibes. Got my fireplace over here. Beautiful kitchen. Oh my goodness. Game room, peekaboo down, tall ceilings. Hold up. Hold up. This was not originally on hold up. Hold up now. All right, let's go check out upstairs. See if they land this thing. 'Cause so far, this is creeping in that Briggs trap, and it'll probably be cheaper in another neighborhood. It's creeping in that trap. Hold up. Good size game room, loft area. Beautiful size. Tons of room. Not quite as big as the Briggs. The Briggs for Coventry Homes, which y'all simped out over the last couple videos that I posted those. It's closer to like 3,800, so bigger than this. for the Peekaboo crew. Add this one to your list. This might be enough. Hold up. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And this is really, hold up, this is really big. Hold up. Hold up. Bro, this is really big. Hold up. I'm not capping. Like, you got another room for chairs back here too. This is crazy. This is really nice. This I'm not even capping you right now. This might be my new favorite Perry like modest plan. Now, of course, they got some bigger plans that are just like, my goodness. But for like that sub 3,500, which is what I just call like a normal big house, this is really nice. This is like, you got the separation of bedrooms, nice size laundry room. The laundry room's connected. The width of this entertainment space, the look ups and downs, peekaboos, spiral staircases. Hold up. All right, let me stop simping out. I'm talking about y'all. Now, I was talking about y'all at the beginning of this video. I'm simping out. I'm doing the most right now. Acting like I ain't never been nowhere. Hold up. All right, so game room, media room. I didn't show you your front door peekaboo. Also a vibe. And they got double doors on the 50. Hold up. Hold up. I'm just processing it. For those of y'all that have been following a while, you know, I've been telling y'all that one of the first signs that you have a certain width of a house is when you have double doors. Every once in a while, there's an elevation and a plan that will be smaller than a 60 or 65 that'll give you the double doors. And it looks like this plan does that. And I didn't even notice that on the walk up. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. All right, back to it. With the double, that's crazy. Okay. Got more linen. This is Texas, and you need that space. This is gonna be what, closet or attic? Closet. Closet with attic probably here. Good size closet. Good size room. Probably wouldn't want to cover that up because that's gonna be more attic access right there. But you could fit a queen in here pretty easily, probably even a king. But now you're kind of squeezing into whether or not you want to cover that up a little bit, or maybe put it on this wall and be a little bit less inhibited on that wall. Looks like we have a Jack and Jill, so I'll show you this first half. But you know we ain't walking through, because we need what? We need the minutes. And another great size room that's really wide that could accommodate king size bed and other furniture in it. And this is the other side of that bedroom. Man, I'm really impressed. I'm truly not gonna lie to you. I am impressed. All right, so let me go and grab some inventory pricing from Miss Donna. That is the sales rep here in this section. Let me see what they have, and then we'll meet back up in the kitchen and wrap this thing up. All right, so as promised, we got the info from Miss Donna. So we are in Sienna, 55-foot section. It looks like we have 1 stories going from 27, 26, 4 beds, 3 baths, 2 car garage, starting base price at $587. And it looks like the biggest model that they have as a base plan is this one, 2-story, 3484 plan, so just under 3,500 square feet, 4 bed, 3 bath, 3 car garage, and this is a $682 base price. Okay. In terms of inventory, it looks like we have one in inventory, and this is what I mean. If you've been following this channel, you know I'm hunting for a deal. They have one of these plans in inventory, same floor plan, same square footage, at $635. That is $50K less than the base price. So you are getting a finished home. You're not paying for the land. You're not paying for the upgrades that they have put into that home for free, okay? Matter of fact, you're getting a $50,000 credit, okay? That is what I mean when I say check out inventory. But you wouldn't know that unless you had someone like me that was riding around and getting the latest pricing and getting the latest details on neighborhoods like this. Because when I look at that home online, it still shows its original price at $750, but the price today, now maybe it might be updated by the time you see this video, I edited and all that stuff, but as of today, the new price on that is $50,000 less than the base price. And that is the kind of info that I get all of the time. I work with builders like Perry Homes, Highland Homes, Weston Homes, Toll Brothers, Newmark, Chesmar, David Weekly, you name it. I've done a contract with them this year. I've built relationships with them this year, taking good care of fostering that relationship, because when the times are tough for you and we need that deal, we need that extra incentive, we need that extra thing to make it a win-win-win for you and your family, I want to make sure that my name is in good standing for you. And to get the best deal in Houston right now, you might want to hit your boy up. Like I said, this is not to be boastful. This is not to be braggadocious. This is just to be honest and say that I've been fortunate and blessed enough to have people like you in my life that have said, Aaron, come be a part of the process with us as we build and or buy our inventory home. And as a result of that, the name is spreading far and wide all over Houston, and I've been able to do some amazing deals. There are places that I walk into now of sales agents that I've never seen, that I've never met, and they'll be like, Aaron, you got a YouTube channel. That happens. And because we are building that network, because we're building that infrastructure, it's giving you better deals all around Houston. But I can't help you if you don't hit me up. The best way to do that, I'm gonna put the QR code. You've probably seen it a dozen times now because this video's getting super long, but I'm gonna put a QR code on the screen. That's the absolute best way to get in touch with me. I got a bunch of calls today while we were out filming, but same thing would happen if I'm out filming or if I'm out with family, if I'm out with clients. I'm probably not gonna be able to pick up on the fly and give you my full attention. I wanna make sure that I'm locked in and I give you and your family my full undivided attention so you can get the best service and the best deals no matter where you're looking. So whether that's in Sienna, my neighborhood of Meridiana, whether that's in Cypress, whether that's in Katy, whether that's in Conroe, whether that's in Magnolia, whether that's in Porter, whether that's in League City, Friendswood, no matter where it is, I want to be that go-to for you. The best way to do that is to hit me up. Again, I'm going to drop that QR code right now. Info as far as emails and numbers and all that stuff is also going to be in the description. And lastly, if you are like many of the people that just want to pop up here and kind of get a feel for an area by yourself, no shade, I'm not offended by that at all, but make sure that when you are walking around and these people ask you how you found out about the neighborhood, how did you come in contact with them, how did you decide to come stop by, tell them that Aaron sent you, and that way they can look me up in the system and make sure that you are being taken care of. Because when the chips are down and it's time to be writing that contract, we want to make sure that we're getting you the absolute best deal, the best incentives. And who better to do that than someone that has contracts with these builders all over the Houston metro. But this, my friends, has been a beautiful home, and it might just be my new favorite.